push these. Let's get a post out, even though we are extremely late today. I'm sorry about that, guys. Oh, that's what I want to do. Hope everybody's having a good day. My day's been quite alright. Had that meeting, it went well, I believe, so I'm glad to have done that, and might lead to some good changes on the channel. Let's see. Is this thing working yet? Okay, here we go. I think everything is up. Let's see, what do I need for today? That one, not that one. Well, we'll hop into this shortly. Is there anything that I'm missing that, I guess that should be all. I'll check back in at the end. What else do I want to do? Alright, let's just hop right into it. We'll hopefully not miss anything. If I do, we'll have a longer show tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm attempting to go through all of the recent relevant history in this war, and it only goes back 80 years. So looking through 80 years of history is no small feat, I do not feel like. But we'll jump into it. It should be a pretty good show today. Where's the camera? Here it is. Alright, main cam is up. We'll jump right into it. Hopefully it's not too long. There's just lots and lots going on. Lots and lots going under the radar. But yeah, hopefully I'm not letting too much slip. Probably like your mainstream media would. Today is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. I believe it's Thursday. It is Thursday. Feels like I don't even know what day. This is episode number 68 of Addressing the Issues. I guess for our main story, big news today, Kristi Noem is out as DHS Secretary, and Markwayne Mullin is in at DHS pending Senate approval. Kristi Noem has been moved to Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas. I guess this is a new position. guess, Trump was not approving of her actions as DHS. There's been lots of optics issues in the agency. So I guess, President Trump took her career to the gravel pit, just like poor Cricket. Took her career and put it down like a dog, as he says. But yeah, poor Kristi Noem, poor Cricket. I guess their careers are both reuniting right now in the dead career department, because like Cricket was a bad hunting dog, apparently Kristi Noem was a bad DHS secretary, and now she has one of those strange appointments to a unknown special envoy. It's basically, the end. It's me firing you without trying to let the optics look too bad. And there's lots of optics control going on currently, not just in the U.S. but abroad. But this is top tier optics control as opposed to completely firing her. Much like, I forget who it was, the person that was leaking the signal messages at the beginning of the administration, or I guess not leaking, adding journalists into what were supposed to be secret messages. He got put on a special envoy. Kristi Noem gets put on a special envoy. But yeah, it's basically, taking your career to the gravel pit and doing what happened to Cricket. Poor Cricket, guys. I mean, my goodness. Cricket had to die for this. Cricket had to die for this. It's actually unreal. Cricket was sacrificed so Kristi Noem could work special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Poor Cricket. We'll move on from Cricket, move on from Kristi, as I guess the president has as well. And we'll talk about what's going on with the Texas Senate primaries. What's going on with the SAVE Act as well. These are intertwined in a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on with the SAVE Act, because I don't know that anybody would be too approving, at least not people who voted for Trump given what he claimed would be approving of. But we'll start out with Ken Paxton will drop out of the Texas Senate race if John Cornyn passes the SAVE Act. So he will drop out as long as the SAVE Act gets passed. I believe everybody is on board with the SAVE Act. It is a high-polling, bipartisan topic. Both Democrats and Republicans approve of the SAVE Act, yet the people who are elected don't. Maybe they are benefiting from these fraudulent votes. I think that's quite likely. It'd be the only reason, that they would continue to allow it, is if you're benefiting, if this is what your career is pinned upon, is having fraudulent votes. It's what you're dependent upon. Now, this comes as news as President Trump is expected still to endorse John Cornyn. Cornyn, I do not believe, has agreed to vote yes for the SAVE Act. So this is, kind of a strange moment in MAGA world. President Trump is possibly going to endorse somebody who will not pass this ever-important SAVE Act. I say that with the contingency that we'll discuss later. But the one person who, once it's done, is not going to be endorsed. They will drop out of the race, and President Trump will get his incumbent, John Cornyn, assuming that the SAVE Act is passed, Cornyn would have to flip his vote, meaning we're going to endorse somebody who will not pass the SAVE Act. It's just, it's an absolute mess in this Texas Senate primary. John Cornyn, rather liberal, but I don't know. If I was Trump, I'd go ahead and endorse Ken Paxton, because I don't know if it's possible to get worse than the establishment Republicans right now. I'm not sure. They could prove me wrong. They could definitely prove me wrong in the near future. But I don't know that it's possible. I truly don't. I sincerely don't believe it's possible to be more ineffective than these people are, more traitorous than these people are. But we'll move on from that fiasco. We're going to, endorse somebody who's not going to vote for the SAVE Act. We're going to endorse someone who's not going to vote for the SAVE Act. We're not going to endorse the person who wants the SAVE Act to the point where if you just get this one thing done, I'll leave. I'll stop. It's absolutely crazy. There was a post regarding the SAVE Act on President Trump's Truth Social. It says the SAVE Act. Number 1, all voters must show voter ID, identification. Number 2, all voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. Number 3, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Number 4, no men and women's sports. That's an addition. And then number 5 is another addition. No transgender mutilation surgeries for children without the express written approval of the parents. Oh, how far we've fallen. Transgender for everybody, I guess, guys. We're going to have transgender for everybody, according to Trump. It's the kids should not be able to make these decisions. Their parents should not be able to make these life-changing decisions. Yet, we'll have transgender for everybody. I was shook when I read this, baffled. Rocked to the core. First of all, the last two, no men and women's sports, no transgender mutilation surgeries for children, without the express approval of the parents, have nothing to do with voting. Yet they're thrown into this legislative block, I guess, this one vote. I don't understand this at all. There should be transgender surgeries for nobody unless they are of, I would say, I guess 18 is when you're an adult, and I guess you're allowed to make these decisions. I'd argue even further, you should have to prove that your brain is fully developed, meaning likely 25 at the earliest. But I don't know. It seems that we're getting transgender for everybody. It's been edited since the first time it was posted. It now reads no transgender mutilation surgery for children. So I guess somebody caught his ear and said, oh, this was a bad idea. It's been edited now, fixed a little bit. It doesn't get away from the point that this isn't what anybody voted for. It has nothing to do with election integrity. However, I don't know. What a slip up. What a nightmare these last few weeks have been. It gets me questioning personally, How far off are we from like Joe Biden right now? I mean, absolutely baffling stuff. You had to fix your statement because you were going to be like, yeah, we'll have trans for everybody, if their parents approve of it. Somebody got you and said, this is a bad idea. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a complete loss for words. I can't believe that was posted. I can't believe we're even making these concessions. Republican Senate, Republican Congress, Republican president. But if your parents say it's okay, you can trans your 5-year-old. I mean, it's disgusting. It's, honestly, unholy. It's destructing the beauty in which God gave you. I don't know. We'll leave it at that. Just a massive slip up. It has nothing to do with election integrity. Yet, it was sent out today. I guess fixed now. Doesn't matter, that it's fixed now. It's a matter that that was ever put out in the first place. It's seeming, every day it gets proven more and more. It doesn't matter who you vote for. All you end up is a variation of George Bush, which is very true in this case, apparently. Starts forever wars. Liberal on the social side. I don't know. I don't understand how you can continue to have slip-ups like these just time after time and again over all these weeks. I'm not saying, Kamala Harris would have been a better choice, but because she slips up, every time she opens her mouth. But my goodness, there's got to be somebody in America, just one person, just one dude that is more fit for this than the last, 5 presidents we've had, 6. Who's before Clinton? 7. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's got to be better options than these people. There just has to be. But we'll move on. I won't go through. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking of all the past presidents and how, goodness, these aren't leaders. We need an actual, leader in this country. We need somebody who's not lost in, I guess, special interests, you could call them. Somebody who just loves America and wants to see America succeed. We'll move on from this. Not trying to do too much dooming today, but there's, once again, nothing good going on. Yesterday, the U.S. House voted 357 to 65 to block release of congressional sexual misconduct reports. I'm sure that one wasn't covered by your Fox News. Probably wasn't covered by many news channels at all. But yes, they have blocked the release of these lawsuits, these claims. Many of these are settled in court with payouts using taxpayer dollars, which is the main issue in this whole thing. They are committing sexual misconduct, settling in or out of court, and using your tax dollars for their sexual deviance. And they decided yesterday, at 357 votes, a huge majority, that they'll just continue to cover it up. That this is in their best interest to cover their own ass, as opposed to being honest with the people who, one, pay for them to have these positions, and two, pay for their, just, I don't know what the right term is. I would call it slutty, but I guess promiscuous acts. We pay for their promiscuous acts, their deviant acts, and they decide we will reward the people who right our crimes financially to victims. Will reward the people who pay out the victims for our crimes by covering up our crimes even further and not allowing them to access them, see them, know about them. It's just, we live in crazy times. I think, here's the new bill, since you won't pass that one. If you get convicted or settle in or out of court for a sexually deviant act in office, you get sent home, you get packed up. FBI comes in, cleans up your office for you, and they put you on the next flight to your home state. How about that? How about that bill? I don't think that one's getting passed either. They like this deviant stuff. They all do. From staffers all the way up to Epstein. This is just, I guess, par for the course with Congress. Politicians, this is what they're there for. They're there to be sexually deviant. This is absolutely the craziest timeline anybody's ever been involved in. I'm not going to say that. There's a time in history that this reminds me of. And we'll leave it at a very angry man comes to power afterwards, who's tired of sexual deviance in his country. We'll leave it at that. But we'll continue talking about this dystopia that we are living through right now. So yesterday, a Marine Corps veteran and Green Party candidate for Senate in North Carolina, Brian McGinnis, was arrested in a protest after stating nobody wants to fight and die for Israel. I don't like the man's politics in general, but he does have a point. Nobody wants to go fight and die for another country. They don't want to send their sons and daughters there. Interesting thing about Brian McGinnis, he's previously testified to Congress for watching aid setups used as killing fields for IDF soldiers on civilians in Gaza. So he has a little bit of experience understanding what's going on over there. So he's seen it firsthand. I guess much like me, once you've seen that stuff, I guess I've only seen it on videos. But he's seen it in person, and then you get told, let's go fight a war for a country that poses essentially no threat to the American homeland. Fight a war against them when only one other country benefits, the same one that used aid setups as killing fields to shoot children, women, non-combatants. You're probably against the Iran war. You probably say, hey, How far do we want to push this? I think we pushed it far enough already. In a crazy part of this video, you can find this video online, probably look no further than Marine Corps veteran candidate for Senate in North Carolina, or just look up Brian McGinnis. You'll find this video online. It's dystopian. I mean, it rattled me to my core yesterday. I was just baffled at so many levels of this video. But in this video, he's detained by Capitol Police, and in something I've never seen before, a senator walks up and begins to detain him as well. Their job is to pass legislation. They won't do that. However, they'll jump in and break your arm. The senator was Tim Sheehy of Montana. During the struggle on this video, Brian McGinnis's arm gets lodged in the door, and these police officers, along with Senator Tim Sheehy, are continuing to pull him through the door with his arm stuck on the other side. And then all of a sudden it just snaps. You hear it audibly in one of the videos. It's disgusting on, just every level. I've never seen a senator act like this before. I didn't know that they were allowed to engage in violence even if they don't agree with your opinion. That's just a standard here in America. If you can't break somebody's arm because you disagree with their opinion. That's just the way the rules are. You can't assault someone for them using their freedom of speech. You can't. That's not how America works. But no, the guy who is assaulted, he did resist arrest. I'll be completely honest. He was resisting arrest. He wanted to make his point heard. But that does not validate a senator walking over and assisting in the breaking of his arm. And the craziest part about this video, I feel like, is the person pans the camera around to the people talking to the committee. And they're screaming, I believe it's something along the lines of, they just broke his arm and none of you seem to care. And it looks like, what's that movie? I think I know what it is, if I can remember. It looks like something out of Doctor Strangelove. It looks like, they're like staring off, like just straight forward at each other. They won't acknowledge the situation. There's obviously a disturbance in the room. Yet there's a complete failure to, I guess, A, internalize what's going on behind them, or B, acknowledge it. And maybe that's just how these people work. They don't acknowledge pain and suffering of people, and that's a red flag in and of itself. But they don't turn, nobody looks back. They just continue looking forward, acting like nothing's happening. When, this is the smallest thing going on right now. We already have Americans coming back in caskets, and, some dude gets his arm broken by some police and senators and a senator in Congress in the halls of the Congressional building. And, it's just a normal day for them. It was absolutely dystopian shit. I don't know if you'd want to watch this video. Like I said, it rattled me to my core. I'd never seen anything like this. But if you do want to see what is going on, go find it, watch the thing through. It's just very dystopian. And I don't know if this gets normalized where we go from here. Police officers that. However, there's no need for senators to be jumping in and arresting people. That's not their job. Their job is to pass the SAVE Act, which hasn't been done. But we'll move on. I don't agree with Brian McGinnis on many fronts at all, but I also don't agree with, what happened to him as a result of expressing his opinion, raising his voice. I mean, yes, he should have gone to jail. Should he have had his arm broken beforehand? Should a senator have jumped in? No. None of that should have happened. They should have drug him outside, and the senator should have let the police do what they're supposed to do. I mean, absolutely dystopian video I saw after I got off yesterday. Well, we'll move on. There's another, just one of these politician moments that happened, I want to say Tuesday, maybe. I want to say Tuesday, but I'd forgotten about it yesterday, or at least to include it yesterday. But it was Senator Chuck Schumer's interaction with reporters. The reporter asked Chuck Schumer, he goes, "Do you think Israel boxed the U.S. into war with Iran?" Senator Schumer responds, "Look, no one wants a nuclear war. No one wants a nuclear Israel, but we certainly don't want an endless war." Then he walks away. He probably gets a tap from one of his staffers. And then Chuck Schumer asks, he goes, "What did I say?" A reporter says, "Nuclear Israel." Then Chuck Schumer says, "Oh no, let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure, okay?" He had it right the first time. He did. He had it right both times, honestly. You don't want these, extremist nations to have nuclear weapons. That's just a fact. I'm honestly not entirely against nuclear proliferation. It's just who is doing so. I said it on the show a couple of days ago. Poland. Poland, if they want to defend Europe themselves, be our guest. Save us some money. Please. But when you have nations like Iran, nations like Israel, who once before has threatened us with a nuclear weapon, according to a imprisoned spy on their behalf named Jonathan Pollard. We'll get into that tomorrow with the whole history rundown of the thing. He says that Israel has threatened to use nuclear weapons before. They don't claim to. They will not acknowledge that they have these. But everybody kind of knows. Everybody's like, we have evidence. We have a feeling. It's just that you're not allowed to acknowledge that they have nuclear weapons. I guess it is what it is. Maybe this obscurity of it benefits them in some way or another. But everybody knows, deep down inside, yes, Israel has nuclear weapons. Does Iran? Well, we've been told Iran would since the 90s. Benjamin Netanyahu came over here and started claiming Iran's close to a nuclear bomb, weeks away in the 90s. We're a couple weeks past that. They still don't have one. But, somebody does. And they do act in these outrageous capacities, such as what is Gaza, such as what is Lebanon. But that's okay. We're supposed to accept that that's okay. They can have nuclear weapons and act in those capacities. Now, if Iran were to want to produce one, we're supposed to jump in and fight to the death. It's just food for thought. it really, it's really this like nitpicky idea of who can have these nuclear weapons. It's really simple. Is the country going to be a belligerent? And in both of these cases, both Israel and Iran, yes, they do act as belligerents in conflicts. That can be proven. There's also, I forget what it's called. Let me see if I can find this one. Essentially, I spelled that wrong. Here's something else you can look into. Look into the Samson option. This, I mean, if anything, if you want something to prove it to you without seeing the bomb used itself, look into the Samson option. Of no relation to me, Sam. No relation to my future kid, Sam's son. But Samson option. Look into it. I don't know why you would have a nuclear doctrine which targets the United States of America. It's included the U.S. If you don't have a nuclear weapon, it wouldn't make sense to waste your time on that. I mean, I guess maybe some people just make nuclear doctrine for fun, just as, a good way to spend your evenings. You just go home, make nuclear doctrine. I don't believe people do that. I believe you make nuclear doctrine when you have nuclear weapons. That's just the way it is. But we'll move on from this. Chuck Schumer was right, both of those, but we'll move on. The Iran war has reached full optics control in both Iran and Israel. Internet shutdowns in Iran, I mean, to be expected there, I guess. There's also the rules in Israel that you can't show impacts of the missiles that are, tearing the country apart right now, from what I've seen, what's been leaked out. But there's also these two, blatant examples from CNN in recent days. One is they're standing on this rooftop balcony, I believe, rooftop terrace, on a rooftop. And in behind them, you can start to see these missiles go up. The alarms are ringing. And the reporter who's on air goes, "We're not showing you that because the Israeli government doesn't allow us or want us to show where that may have come from." That's complete optics control. They're suppressing the media, what gets out to the news, what people are allowed to know. I know. I'll do it. There's been reports in Gulf countries that some of their missile impacts did not travel over the Arabian Sea. Take that for what you will. They have eyewitness accounts that some of the missiles do not come from over the Arabian Sea. They've been coming from the desert side. What could that mean? Maybe Iran has missiles that go up over their target and then come back, allowing more time for people to intercept them, or something else. Take that for what you will. They're just eyewitness reports of people in the region. And maybe they're lying propaganda. Maybe they're not. Just take it for what you will. But then there's another CNN incident where a reporter was stopped from showing the missile alert map, the little red areas while he was live doing a session, a report. He was live. He was attempting to show on his phone. I don't have it on me, but hold it up to the screen or the camera like this and say, "Hey, look here. We've got to take cover." The person he's with, I assume, Israeli army, maybe IDF, says, "No, you can't show that. You've got to stop that." And then the scene gets all chaotic. He doesn't know why he can't show the alert map, assuming it functions. I mean, if it's functioning, why not show the alert map? Well, because it's optics, they don't want people to know that they're being overwhelmed right now. And like I said, the same thing is happening in Iran. They don't want people to know that they're getting bombed out as well. It's an optics thing. Everybody wants to look strong right now. And in my opinion, everybody just looks a little crazy. Let's see. Oh, here's something funny I saw on this whole Iran war thing right now. The Unusual Whales account they're the ones who follow the politician stock trading. They have also created like an auto trader, which you can mirror politicians, or they have one that is the inverse Jim Cramer. This one does the exact opposite of what Jim Cramer does, and year after year after year, it's profitable. I mean, every time. I mean, you just do the inverse of what Jim Cramer is doing, and you come out, 45% up. It's an actual thing, and it's really insane that this dude is a economic, person. But it came out today, apparently through CNBC, that Jim Cramer says the oil market is signaling the Iran war won't spiral, and that's bullish for stocks. Well, if you inverse Jim Cramer, that's not good. It's not good. It's what I was warning about. I've warned about it. I don't know, the last month. It feels like probably longer. Just inverse whatever Jim Cramer said, and that's probably what's going to happen if you are a betting person. I just thought that was so interesting. That he would comment on that. Oil prices are up again today. I mean, he's wrong again. Let's just say what it is. He's probably wrong again. We'll move on from that. We'll talk a little bit about the social media sphere, political influencer sphere, commentator sphere, shortly. But there was a thing going around a while back. It was related to one of Benjamin Netanyahu's trips to the U.S., where he's talking with American influencers about how to promote Israeli propaganda. It's called Hasbara. And after this, there had been people throwing around claims that these people were paid $7,000 per post in support of Israel to just flood the social media feeds with Israeli propaganda. They would get a message and they would, doctor it up to make it sound like them a little bit, post it, $7,000. And people got made fun of for this because it was easy to tell. It was easy to tell when you were being used as a propaganda bot. It always is, at least for me. some people, I guess, that haven't gone through the programs that I have in college, communications, strategic communications, it probably makes no sense. It looks natural. You can tell. You scroll back 2 months before, and their posts don't look the same. It's not the same person even, it seems. But everybody could tell. There's a report coming out in Israeli media. It says Israeli officials allegedly hired social media influencers for $7,000 per post, failed to pay them, and are now facing lawsuits totaling millions of dollars over unpaid invoices. It sounds like the $7K a month club was real, and they all got, completely scammed. An interesting thing about the $7,000 USD is at the time, it was roughly let me see. Let me make sure this is, yeah. It was about equal to 30 shekels, 30 pieces of silver. Do you know who was sold out for 30 pieces of silver? Judas sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. These people are selling themselves out. In the most just completely lost way possible. And it's too perfect on so many levels. Especially now that they're not even getting paid. You sold yourself out for 30 pieces of silver. How poetic. How poetic. You sold yourself out like that. I just thought that was interesting. There's a little bit more going on with this whole social media sphere. I don't know how public this information is, how much it's been pushed by mainstream media, given this person's relation to mainstream media nowadays. Kind of, shrugged it off and said, I'll do it on my own and do it better. I'm talking about the Tucker Carlson Israel visit saga. It starts off, he's called up to come to the White House. I think he goes to the White House first. Maybe it's just a call from the president. But he's requested to go to Israel. They want him to knock off his actions of recent, telling the truth. But they want him to go to Israel, so he goes there and meets U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. This interview, Mike Huckabee, he's lost. He walked into the same trap Ted Cruz walked into, no more prepared. You could just watch the Ted Cruz one. It's, almost all the exact same questions. Very similar stuff. Things that you should be able to answer. But, he walks into this unprepared trap. I guess, it's the same trap. We've seen it before. But he walks into it. He gets asked, he talks about, once again, Jonathan Pollard. I believe Huckabee had some relation with the spy Jonathan Pollard, who backstabbed the U.S. with nuclear weapons relations. It was, I believe, war plans. I believe it was war plans that he gave to the Israelis, which were then sold to Russia. Probably, or not Russia, USSR, sorry. Worse. But, they ask about his relations with them, with Jonathan Pollard, Mike Huckabee's relationship with Jonathan Pollard. It's about, I believe it's about a 3-hour interview, if I'm remembering correctly. And then once this is over, I guess Mike Huckabee was planning on owning Tucker Carlson, whatever you want to call it. Tucker Carlson goes to leave the country. He never leaves the airport during this time. Stays at the airport the entire time. never leaves the international airport. On the way back to his flight, he's pulled aside and questioned by security, in which 2 members of his team are pulled into private rooms for secondary inspections. Then Tucker is told that he should go to his plane and leave them behind, and they would be brought to the plane later. All kinds of red flags start going off, and he refuses to leave his staff. They're subsequently released. He gets back. The 7K Club continues to attack him over his quote-unquote ambush that he was asked to go do by the president. But now, in just recent hours, days, a shipment of over $1 million of his company out pouches was stolen from a shipping hub, a distribution hub in California, and has just disappeared while approaching Kentucky. There's currently I believe it's $100,000 reward for reporting this. Where these are, it's believed that they're likely the exclusive Drifters release. Not familiar with those. But he gets $1 million worth of product stolen, and by somebody, who seems to have the right paperwork, stuff like this. It's all fishy. It's all going together. It's like, you won't submit to our opinions through Mike Huckabee. Well, then you can't have a business. We'll take your stuff. We'll take your money. And it happens time and time again. Debanking isn't, as uncommon as you think it is. Especially in the last couple of years, people are being debanked left and right over their opinions. And it's interesting, you quote-unquote set up an ambush, the same ambush that I guess everybody walks into, they never learn. And then, all of a sudden, you get back home, trying to go about business as normal, selling products, and then $1 million gets wiped out. Nobody knows where it went. I hate to say it looks targeted, but it does. It looks, maybe Tucker Carlson has the worst luck in the world. Maybe. Possibly. I just don't see that all of these events happen one after another, and there's not any connection. I don't think we'll see the FBI on this. They're, too busy flying around the world for internal investigations, I guess. I don't know. It's all fishy. It's fishy. Especially, detaining his employees. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous times we're in. We've got a couple of more things. Something I just saw before we started. We have a new media hoax, guys. We have Kansas City man planted 20 explosives near the Liberty Memorial in Kansas City. 20 explosives planted in Kansas City by Kansas City man. Turns out Kansas City man is an illegal immigrant with an ICE detainer hold. A judge just Kansas City man, Owen Canizales Argueta. He's now facing 140 years in prison, but he's just a Kansas City man. He's just like Maryland man. The media is so awful, and it lies to you every single day, and we just accept it. We accept it. Let's see. There was one more thing I saw. Okay, here it is. Apparently, this is related to the Iran thing. I guess related to yesterday's story, how China's going to benefit the most from this, whether you believe so or not. They always turn out benefiting the most because we buy everything from them. It says, this is an open source intelligence channel. It says, in a notable development, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held a phone conversation with Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, and what a name, and committed to send Chinese envoys to the Middle East in an attempt to mediate some sort of peace process between nations that are involved in the conflict with Iran. Well, I guess we're giving up the monopoly on peace to China as well. We've already given them all of our industry. Why don't they just have the best foreign relations too? I mean, not that they're deserving of that title by any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, they're moving in where the U.S. won't. And, I mean, this is going to end up as geopolitical influence. Other nations will call the Chinese in as opposed to U.S. And now, and then China will use that as an opportunity to expand their Belt and Road Initiative and basically take over these societies. I mean, we are on a downhill spiral right now. But I figured I would throw that in there. I meant to do that earlier. Forgot to include it in my outline. It's fine. Let's see. Is there anything else that I missed? I'm trying to be caught up because tomorrow is going to be a long episode, it looks like. If I can get it done by tomorrow. I hope to. Is that oil at over $80 a barrel right now? Hold on. Oil, is that accurate? Okay, that's 79. Up 5.92% today. Once again, I'll do a quick jowl check. Things are becoming staples at, down 1.6 today. Yeah. Don't bet with Kramer. Bet against Kramer. Yikes. This isn't looking good, guys. It's not looking good, not one bit. I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys will drop a like, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Kick, follow on Rumble. Turn on those notifications so you're notified when I decide to go live 15 minutes late like I did today. I'm sorry about that. Had a meeting today. It went well, but I lost an hour, which, I made back in, 15 minutes, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. I don't think it's fair to think of that. I was late. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking around. There's a couple of you guys left. Even though I did show up late, you guys must have notifications on. Make sure you have those notifications on once you subscribe or follow. Let's see. Trump draws backlash for easing stance on non-criminal deportations. We'll have no deportations and transgender for everybody. And you'll like it. And you'll like it. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Nothing's going well these days, and this is what I'm able to catch. This is what we're able to catch. What's going on the sub-level? What is worse, yet lower key? I bet you plenty of stations have tried to just slide past the whole vote on sexual misconduct reports. I bet plenty of stations have done that. Just slid it right by you. I try to not let this happen to you guys, and that's why I think it's important, you stick around, share this. It's good information. I don't attempt to lie to you guys. At least, not on purpose. And when I do make a mistake, I correct myself. Probably at a higher rate than your typical media, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I don't see many chats today. I see the kickbots once again out in full force. My favorite viewers just blowing up the chat for no good reason. They call the kick chat the Liberty Memorial, I guess. Blowing it up for no reason. Let's see if that guy's an illegal immigrant or not. Somebody needs to call ICE. Oh wait, they won't show up. They won't show up. Oh, okay. What is this? Okay. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll look into that. And yeah, make sure you guys are dropping a like and sharing. I hope you all enjoyed today. I appreciate you guys watching. I mean, viewership is the best way to get ahead in this algorithm on these, in this cutthroat business. But yeah, I'll sign off here. And I'll never leave you in the gravel pit like poor Cricket. Won't leave you in the gravel pit, guys. Won't leave you in the gravel pit like Christy Noem. I'd never do that. Hey, Andrew Q. How are you, man? Yeah. I'll sign off here. Make sure you guys are all subscribing, following. We'll be live again tomorrow, hopefully at 4:45. I haven't been great on that this week, but I mean, I don't even know. Tomorrow, I hope to. Lots to go over tomorrow. We'll be going over the full history of Iran, or at least not full, but recent. Basically the full history of Israel, how we've got to this point. We've addressed where this would go mostly, but I think it would be useful to have a better understanding for everybody of how this has occurred, why this is going on. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate that. Make sure you follow, man. Turn on notifications. I'll be back around tomorrow. I'll be back around. It'll be a good one tomorrow. It'll be a good one. But yeah. So I'll sign off. Classic one. To all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for watching.